Rafael Alves, depends where you're from, at @the_kamikaze1. I constantly hear that Conor punches from different angles, but I never understand what these angles mean. Can you explain this? The usage of videos or images would be better for my understanding. It's pretty simple. Conor does attack from different angles. Not usually with his footwork, it's usually with his head movements and just the angle of his punches, right? His outside slip to a return left cross, like he did against Ivan Butchinger, that's one angle, right? He's kind of coming from the outside, from his left, and it's coming from that angle and ending on the center. Look at that and then compare his bolo uppercut on Nate Diaz in their first fight that he kept throwing. He got off the center line with the same head movement. He dodged on his left on the outside of a punch and then came up with an uppercut almost straight up and hit the taller guy. So it's coming from the left side almost diagonally. So then you turn your body, face Nate Diaz, and your uppercut's coming straight up the middle. So that's a different angle. Another angle is the right uppercut of Conor when he landed on Max Holloway constantly throughout the entire fight. So what he's doing there is he steps off on the right to get the outside foot on the orthodox fighter, which is Max Holloway. Holloway will throw a jab at him, which is his left hand, and they're in opposite stances. So what Conor does is he gets his head on the outside of that as well, which is following his right leg, which is also on the outside of Holloway's foot, like I just mentioned. And then he turns his body to the side with his shoulder facing Holloway, and then he throws his uppercut up the center. So his body's completely on the outside, but his punch comes up the center. That's different than the bolo uppercut, because the bolo uppercut, his body's also on the center. At least most of it is, except his head and like upper torso. So that's a different angle. That naturally causes a different angle. Another angle on Nate Diaz was when he was slipping on the outside of Nate's left hand, which is his power hand, or on the inside of Nate's jab, and he would throw the right overhand down the middle. So he's getting off on the right angle slightly, and his left overhand's coming through the center, over the center. And another one was against... This one is more with footwork, and it's one of the only real times, besides maybe the Marcus Brimage fight, where he was using the footwork, step off to the left or right of Brimage and find the bolo uppercut. But when he fought Artur Sawinski, long time ago, he goes and throws a right hook and backs up away from Sawinski, and Sawinski goes and throws his power hand to reach Conor. Conor was confident at his distance, so when he backs off from Sawinski from his right hook, he goes back and also toward the left. And from that angle, he redirects back at Sawinski with a left overhand. That's coming a little bit on Sawinski's right side. Conor also attacks from the center line, like he did against Aldo, for instance. But it wasn't exactly on the center line because it was more of like a hybrid of a hook with a straight. So it's coming from the left a little bit, but it's more of a straight punch. And then look at his left cross against Chad Mendes. So that was a left cross. And then look at his cross on Chad when Chad was against the cage. If you remember when Chad was against the cage and he tried to move out to his left because Conor was pressuring him. And Conor would throw the jab in. And as Chad moved away to get away from the left hand completely, Conor was able to torque his body completely over and still catch Chad. So that's a different angle. It's a straight. He's throwing a straight, but it's covering the entire left field. That's another angle. So Conor has a lot of different angles. People think his punching game is very limited, but his angles are crazy, right?